Welcome guys, I'm Ms. Huff. I'm going to show you how to insert a graph into your lab reports. We want to make sure that that does happen so you can insert the graph digitally, turn the lab report in digitally, and not have to worry about hand making the graph now. We will not be accepting those anymore. They have to be inserted in your lab report. So the first thing you're going to do, type up your lab report, get it all written out. I've got a data table made here. You can use the table tool up here to insert your table. Or you can go ahead and set up your table in a spreadsheet and then highlight it and then copy and paste it over. What we're going to do, I'm going to show you how to go in on your spreadsheet. Here's my data table. Highlight, copy, paste to get it over. What we're going to do to set up the graph, you're going to highlight the information again, click Insert, and go down to Chart. That's going to pop up a new window here for you. And let's open this so we can work with it and see what we're doing. You've got options on the left, options on the top, and you've got what your graph is ultimately going to look like on the right. The instructions for this lab say to do a line graph, so we're going to need to switch this. So we're going to go to Chart Types, and we have two line graphs here. Down here we have a whole set of options. The first one gives us hard stops at every data point. The second one is more of a smooth line, but you can't necessarily tell where the data points are unless you hover over it. We're going to go with the first one because we want to be able to see those hard stops where each data point is. So we've got that done. Now you'll notice that we have a couple of things wrong with this graph. We don't want to insert it yet. We've got the title is not the way it needs to be, and then we've got the groups on the bottom with the amount of exercise as being represented by the lines. Anytime that this right here is checked, switch rows and columns, it's actually going to swap out the information that you have in your data table and put them in the opposite places. So we want to make sure that we uncheck that box. And over here on the right-hand side, we have now switched the data so it is having lines represent the groups and the amount of exercise is along the bottom. So now all that's left is to title our axes and fix the title for the graph itself. So we're going to come up here to the Customization tab. And when we click on that, you will see that we've got a new set of options over here. So we've got a title option. So this is a title for the graph. So in this fill-in box, we're going to fix our title, effective exercise on cellular respiration. And then as soon as I click outside of this anywhere or hit enter on my keyboard, it's going to change my title right here. So look right here. I'm going to hit enter on the keyboard. Now I've got an appropriate title. In order to label my axes, I'm going to take this little scroll bar here and I'm going to go down. And now I have my axis box. I'm on the horizontal axis, so I'm going to go into this fill-in box and I'm going to give a title for my horizontal axis, amount of exercise. And that shows up at the bottom now. In order to do the vertical axis, I have to go to the drop-down, switch to vertical axis, left vertical, and now I'll put a title for that. Time until color change in seconds. Hit enter, and now I have a label for that axis. Once I'm happy with all of this, I'm going to hit the insert button. There's a bunch of other things you can do over here, but this is the basics. This is the minimum of what you need to know. So once I hit insert, I now have a graph in my spreadsheet. If you're going to save the spreadsheet, you're going to want to drag the graph down so you can see the table and the graph. If you're not going to save the spreadsheet, you're going to come in and delete it when you're done with this, then it doesn't matter. You can leave it there. So what we want to do, in order to get it into the Google Doc, I'm going to close this out a little bit so you can see both at the same time again. We're going to go to this little drop-down menu right here in the top right-hand corner of the graph. Click on that, scroll down to Copy Chart. Come back over into the Google Doc, click where you want it to be, right-click, paste. Let it do its thing, and now you have a nice pretty graph inserted into your Google Doc so that you can turn your lab report in digitally with a graph included. Thanks for watching.